I'm gonna keep inviting some peeps here. So today we're gonna be talking about something that is very much needed, especially if you've been feeling stuck or you've been feeling unsure of how to make certain decisions. It might not necessarily be an issue of you not having clarity. It might be an issue of you not connecting to yourself, a self-connection problem. So that's something that I wanted to talk about today with everyone. Let's see here. So we're going to be talking about reconnecting with your identity, not who you think you should be, but who you are, right, at your core. This, I feel like it will help your next step be clear and more aligned. Let me make sure that I shared with someone else here. Okay. Hey, Karen, thank you for coming. How have you been? Hi, Letitia. How have you been, Karen? It's almost Friday, thank God. So today we're going to be talking about reconnecting with ourselves, right? With who we are at our core. Because I feel like sometimes when we feel stuck in life, when we feel like we don't have like a clear path in mind, it's because we're not connecting with ourselves, right? There's a blockage there that makes us question ourselves, makes us question if we could trust ourselves, right? And sometimes that's because we're not connecting with who we are at our core, right? Karen said, I'm great, how are you? If I don't engage, it's because I'm in the shower. Aw, it's all good, no worries. Hi, Richard. Thank you guys for coming. So again, we're talking about how reconnecting with ourselves and with our identity, not who you think you should be, not who you think others want you to be, right? But who you are, right, at your core. It helps make your next steps or your decisions more clear and more aligned with who you are at your core. So if you're able to, I would love if you could share the live. Only if you're able, no worries. I'm in the shower. Aw, it's all good, no worries. Hi, Richard. Thank you guys for coming. So again, we're talking about how reconnecting with ourselves and with our identity, not who you think you should be, not who you think others want you to be, right? But who you are, right, at your core. It helps make your next steps or your decisions more clear and more aligned with who you are at your core. So if you're able to, I would love if you could share the live. Only if you're able. No worries. Okay. Hey, Alex. Thank you for coming. Bella. So we're going to be talking about reconnecting with ourselves, with who we are at our core. That way, I feel like once you're starting to connect with yourself and who you are, your values, your core, it makes it so much easier to make decisions. It makes it so much easier to know exactly where your path is going, right? So a lot of times we chase external clarity, right? And when I say external clarity, I mean that could be looking for opinions, right? So let's say that you've been contemplating what school do I want to go to, or what career should I do, or what classes should I take. 9 times out of 10, you'll go ask somebody else, right? You'll have an idea in mind, and then you'll say, oh, what do you think about A, B, and C, right? And a lot of times we intuitively already know what we want, right? So 9 times out of 10, we know what we want, but then what if someone doesn't choose what you want? Are you going to go with that, right? So this is why I kind of want to break it down a little bit and dig into why we chase that external clarity instead of going within, right? So again, sometimes we talk to people on the outside of ourselves. So we can ask them, what job should we take? What major? What decision should I make? Or what's your opinion on this? But inside, when we try to look within, it could be foggy, right? It's almost like we can't connect the dots and we don't know exactly what we want. And the outside is never going to feel quite right with that, right? So sometimes the pressure of like wanting to figure it out gets super loud, right? So when that happens, we stop asking who we actually are, right? Like what we value, what we care about, what feels true and right for us. We're always thinking about, oh, well, if I can't figure it out, someone has to figure it out for me, right? So for example, this has happened to me in the past where, especially when it comes to school, if I wanted to take a class, I always wanted to have a class that was with someone that I knew if I could do it, right? So I'll be like, oh, what class are you taking next semester? oh, what's a professor that you like? Even though I knew exactly what classes I needed to take, exactly what order I should take them in, sometimes if a friend or someone that I knew was like, oh, I'm taking course A, but I want to take course B, I might go ahead and change my mind and take that course because I felt more safe, right? Because someone made that decision for me. And the problem with that is that it can normalize you depending on other people's opinions or depending on other people's points instead of following your gut, instead of following your core, right? And that can become a problem because if you start getting used to depending on outside opinions and outside or external clarity, that bleeds into other parts of your life, right? Now you're asking for opinions about what to wear. Now you're asking for opinions about what career you should be doing. Now you're asking for opinions on what job you should take. So it starts trickling down and it becomes a thing where now you're constantly needing that external clarity in order to make any decision. So I want to offer you some questions that you can ask yourself for that self-discovery. Because I feel like, hi Chi-Chi, thank you for coming. Before I move on, I'm just going to recap for Kiara. So let me recap for you real quick, Chi-Chi. You didn't miss much. I was just giving the intro on basically tonight we're going to be talking about clarity, but clarity through your identity, right? And basically what that means is that sometimes we have this feeling like we're stuck, like we have this like problem with clarity, like we don't know what we want to choose. We don't know what decision to make. We don't know what career is right. We don't know what major is right for us. We feel stuck in all these decisions that we don't know the answer to. And I feel like sometimes when you start reconnecting with yourself, with who you are at your core, with your values, with your identity, not who you think you should be or who other people think you should be. But once you start connecting with who you are, it helps make those next steps a lot clearer and more aligned with who you are at your core, right? Hey Karen, welcome back. So I started off by talking about why we chase that external clarity. And the main reason is because sometimes we look outside of ourselves to get clarity. So we can ask somebody, oh, what do you think about this job option? Or what do you think about this major? Or what decision should I make, A or B? Or what path should I take? Is this the right outfit to wear? You know, there's so many different ways that you can try to look for that external clarity. And we do this because we get so bogged down with having to try to figure everything out by ourselves, and it gets so loud that it's almost like this fear of making the wrong decision and this anxiety over having all this responsibility to make that decision, right? So basically I want to share with you the power of, oh, sorry, I skipped ahead here on my screen. Sorry, I have a screen. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the power of identity and having clarity in that. So how self-awareness anchors decision making, right? So if we're very self-aware, then it's so much easier to make those decisions, right? So when you know your values, you stop second guessing. So I want you to share today with me your top 3 values that come to mind. So there's no right or wrong answers. So I would love for you to share your top 3 values with me, and then we'll go from there. Hey, Kimberly, how are you? My nails are still going strong. Yes. Let me give you a quick little recap. So today we're talking about finding clarity through our identity and who we are, right? So we're talking about how reconnecting with your identity, not who you think you should be or what other people think you should be, but this identity and who you are helps you make decisions more clearly and more aligned to who you are. I'm good, just got off work. Oh, nice. I just know you had some people leaving happy with them nails. Then I talked a little bit about why we chase external clarity. So sometimes we get so stressed out and so overwhelmed by all these decisions, all these choices that we have to make, and we start asking external clarity, right? We'll start asking family members, friends, co-workers, like, what do you think I should do for X, Y, and Z? What should I do for my career? What should I do for my job? What should my next steps be, right? And the problem when we start doing that, it can become almost like second nature to now ask other people for their opinion for every single decision that you make. And you stop trusting your intuition. You stop listening to your gut. You stop listening to your inner self, right? The one that knows you the best, right? So I was starting to get into the power of identity and clarity, right? So I want to explore with you how self-awareness can anchor our decision making, right? It can help us get there. So I asked, what are your top 3 values? If you can share with me your top 3 values. And again, it could be the first thing that comes to your mind. It doesn't have to be like the ultimate top value you've ever had. Just whatever comes to mind. So for me, just off the dome, let's see. My top 3 values. My family, it's definitely a big value. Honesty and openness. So that's what I could think of right now. I'm sure there's many more, but family, honesty, and openness. And when I say openness, I mean like open-mindedness, right? Like being open to learning, being open to different things, right? Ooh, loyalty is good. Oh my God. I love that. Karen said, can't even think of any. So let's share. And then maybe Karen will say, oh, okay, now I get this. Kimberly said, loyalty to myself first. That's so good. Honesty and God. Bless up. For sure. Karen said, God, my happiness, and loyalty. Those are so good. Now I feel bad. I'm like, dang, God, you know I got you. Like, but yeah, that's really good. The reason why I say when you know your values, it helps you stop second guessing yourself, right? So for example, let's say that someone, let's use loyalty, right? As one of the core values, right? And let's say that you are in a committed relationship and someone approaches you and wants to get your number, right? This can happen, okay? Especially with beautiful women like you, okay? So let's say someone approaches you and wants to get to know you and wants to pursue you. Well, you're in a relationship and you're in a committed relationship. So this is where that core value will help you make that decision, right? So if my core value is loyalty and someone approaches me, I'm not even going to think twice about my decision because I'm leading from the inside, right? So if my core value is loyalty and someone is basically offering you to not be loyal, right? Your instinct is to be, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. And then boom, right? Karen said, yes, we have to come first, always. LMAO. God always. Yup. Exactly. And then another one is God, right? So if one of your values is trusting in God and being faithful, then if someone tries to say something negatively about your faith, then you can stand up and say something back in a loving way, right? So again, the reason why I say it's so important for us to know our core values, because it helps you make those decisions. It helps you choose those careers, right? It helps you choose those majors. Like, what if your core value was family, right? And then you had to choose between a career where it would be more stable and you can create a family, you can have kids, you can have a home that's stable, versus a career that'll lead you to work, 30 hours a day, obviously there's only 24 hours in a day. I'm exaggerating. But let's say that there's another job option, right? That sure, maybe it'll pay more, but you'll barely be home. So how can you start a family? How can you have kids when you can't take care of them, right? So like, this is where that decision becomes easy, because you say, oh, well, I'm going to go with option A because it makes more sense with where I want to be and what I truly value in this life, right? So another thing is knowing your identity, right? So when you have those values and when you truly trust in them, it's so much easier for you to know who you are at your core, right? So if one of your core values is loyalty, is God, let's see, what was the third one you guys said? Happiness and honesty, right? So if those are your core values, then what's your identity? You're an honest person, right? You're a loyal person. You're a God-fearing person, right? You're a happy person. You put yourself first and your happiness first, right? And that bleeds into other parts of your identity. Are you guys following me so far? Okay. So, thank you. So clarity is often a byproduct of self-trust, right? So when you stop asking yourself, what should I do? And then you start asking, what matters most to me? The next steps can get a lot clearer. So what is something that you've been struggling to make a decision with? You don't have to tell me the exact thing, but maybe you can tell me where it is. Is it career? Is it family? Is it location, like relocating? Is it school? Kim said it's crazy because at this point it's my character. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Basically, what you're telling me is that you're so tapped in on your values that it's literally who you are. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get at. Kimberly said, I'm getting more clarity in life because my morals keep me grounded in my path. Even though... Sorry, y'all. I'm having my coffee because it's really good. I'm getting more clarity in life because my morals keep me grounded in my path. Even though it doesn't feel that way sometimes. It gets lonely and I'm like, this is peace. Yes. That's another thing. I love that you say that. Because sometimes when we've lived in like chaos, right? Whether that's from your own making, whether that's parents, whether that's family, whether that's just friends that bring drama, and then busy, right? Life, work, bills, you know, responsibilities, so many things that come together and just create all this chaos. Once you have some peace, it's almost weird. Like you're like, what's gonna happen? Why is this so quiet right now? But really, it's like you're finally at peace, right? So I love that you're getting more clarity because this just goes to prove what I'm trying to share in this live, that the more you connect with yourself at your core, the more clarity you're going to have in your future and what decisions to make in hard times or when you're confused as to where you want to go in life. Once you tap into yourself, your inner core, it's so much easier to get clarity on what to do next. Hi, Jermaine. Thank you for coming by. So I have some questions for you guys. I want to do like a little self-discovery mini lesson real quick. You can write this down or you can mentally say it in your mind. But I want to share a couple reflection questions from my newsletter. So I have a weekly newsletter that I send out every single Thursday, and it dives in and it gives you a couple little tools that you can do on your own, like journaling prompts, affirmations, things like that, that really help you kind of do it, but more in a quiet, self-paced instead of during a live. But I really thought it was powerful and I really wanted to share it with you guys. So I'm going to share two or three reflection questions from my newsletter. So one of them was, when was the last time that you felt most like yourself? So I'm going to ask that again. When was the last time you felt most like yourself? And thank you guys for liking the live. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So when was the last time you felt most like yourself? Hey, Jojo. That's my brother, y'all. Thank you for coming, bro. So we're talking about gaining clarity through your identity and knowing who you are at your core. So we started off talking a little bit about basically how reconnecting with ourself, with our identity. Hey, Mama Bendición. Oh, I was just doing a little recap. Perfect timing. So reconnecting with your identity, not who you think you should be, but who you are at your core. And it helps you make your next steps or your decisions more clear and more aligned with who you are. So I talked a little bit about how we tend to chase and need like external clarity. So we'll ask other people to make decisions for us, or we'll ask other people for their opinion before we make a decision. Then I talked about the power of your identity and the clarity. So like when you know your core values, it's so much easier to make decisions. So a couple people, just to give you an example, had core values like God, their happiness, loyalty, honesty, right? So those are really, really powerful core values to have. And it's so easy to trust on those values to make those decisions. So I said an example saying like, if you're in a committed relationship and someone approached you, then you would dismiss them, because if loyalty is your core value, then it's easy to trust that core value to give you that answer, right? And you can use that in other parts of your life as well. So now I'm in the part of the live that I wanted to ask a couple grounding questions. I feel like these are from my newsletter, and I feel like they're very important to kind of knowing what to do, right? Thank you so much, Karen. Oh, I appreciate it. You asked, Karen, when I felt most like myself. Yes, exactly. Oh, sorry, Karen said still in the shower. I took a mini trip near Palm Springs, felt free and naturally myself. I love that. That's a great example of when you felt like yourself, like you got to get out and reconnect with yourself and nature. And it's so funny how sometimes when we go to nature is when we connect with ourselves. So actually, now that you say that, I'm going to say that the last time that I felt most like myself was when I went for my son's birthday. We took him to like this mini beach. And I don't know, every time that I go to the beach or any time that I go near water, like a pool or the beach, I feel so connected to myself. And I never thought about that until I read your comment. So thank you, Karen. You just gave me some insight for myself. So, I'll ask the same thing to everyone else. Oh, it's all good, Chi Chi, no worries. So basically, I'm using a couple of questions from my newsletter, and I was asking, when was the last time that you felt most like yourself? And Karen shared that it was when she went, I think, what did you say, to a mountain? Let's see. Palm Springs. She went to Palm Springs, and she felt so free and naturally herself, right? And then that kind of inspired, like it reminded me of the last time I felt most like myself was when I went and I took, as a family, we went to the beach. And that was like a really grounding, powerful moment. Karen said, same, nature helps. We should take time even without spending. Exactly. Like it literally costs us like $5 to park for the beach. Like that's amazing, right? Or you can even go on a walk in your neighborhood. Oh, Chi-Chi, I love that. Every time I go to Disney. That's real. That's a good one. Because that's like you're connecting to your inner child. And your inner child is your core, right? That's who you are. So Chi-Chi and Mama, I had another question that I asked earlier in the live that I'm curious to know. What are your top 3 values? So far we've shared honesty, loyalty, God, and happiness. Kimberly said, I took time off work. I tried to do nothing, felt no responsibility. I'm so proud of you for that. I am so proud of you for that, because I know that must have been hard for you. By the way, y'all, Kimberly is my nail tech. As you can see, she's amazing. And she has her own business. She has her own suite. She has a family. So she's busy, okay? So if she said she took time off, that's a big deal. And did nothing, love that. I'm proud of you for that, Kimberly, because I know that wasn't easy. Kudos to you, for sure. So I have a couple other questions, sorry. So the one I just asked was, when was the last time you felt most like yourself? My next question is, what do you want to feel proud of a year from now? Even if no one else sees it. Okay? So what do you want to feel proud of a year from now, even if no one else sees it? For me, when it comes to the business side of things, I want to feel proud of being consistent with my business. So being consistent on this app, being consistent on posting, being consistent with people if they ask questions, being there for them, and just being open to learning about this, about social media, and just continuing to put myself out there even though it's scary for me. Mama said spiritual values, integrity, and compassion. I love that. Sorry, y'all. I have a little bit of allergy, so my nose is itching. I don't know if y'all could tell, but my eyes are a little red. I love that, Mama. Oh, it's okay, Mama. Don't worry. Yeah, I love that. Hi, Yala. Karen said same, plus going to college, being a kinder person to others and myself, and getting my home. Yes. Love that. Chi-Chi said, being proud of my consistency with my mental health, aka therapy. Yes. I love that. Chi-Chi, I have an appointment on Saturday with my therapist, though. Kimberly said, I definitely want to dive into other passions for myself. Like I used to be obsessed with working. Yes. Working out. And I really want to get back to it once I deliver. Yes, y'all. By the way, I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to say the news for you. But Kimberly's pregnant. So let's congratulate her here. So it's very exciting. But she is a business owner. And so there's a lot of things that are going to change, scheduling, finding that balance, right? But then staying connected with yourself as well while being a mom. So that's so exciting. It's such a big deal. And I'm super proud of her. I mean, I've known her now for 3 years? And the growth that I see every time I see her is just amazing. I'm super proud. Oh, thank you, Chi-Chi. And I'm proud of you too, Chi-Chi. You've been doing your thing. You really have. So I want to encourage everyone to ask yourself these questions, right? Every once in a while, journal. Ask yourself some questions. If you have a decision that you want to make, ask yourself, write it down. What decision should I make? If you don't know the answer in that moment, maybe close that notebook and come back to it the next day. Hey, Jojo, I didn't know you were still in here. What's up? We're proud of you too, bro. My brother just had a baby too, Kimberly. My nephew's what? He's 6 months old now, right? He's a little chunky butt. He's a little cutie pie. Five months. He looks like he's 6 months old already. Yep. Hi, Lizzie. Thank you for coming. So, I want you to drop an emoji in the chat if you've ever felt like you've lost yourself while chasing a goal, or while trying to make a decision, or while feeling stuck. Have you ever felt like you lost yourself? Like you lost sight of who you are? I could tell you this happens a lot, because I'm the type of person that feels like I need to chase a goal all the time. Like if I'm not chasing a goal, what am I even doing? Right? Hey, cuz. So I want you to drop an emoji in the chat if you've ever feel like you've lost yourself while chasing a goal, chasing a dream, trying to make a decision. You got so lost up in it that you feel like you lost a sense of yourself. And again, I'm the type of person that tries to find, okay, if I reached goal A, where's goal B? Okay, now goal C. Okay, now goal D. Right? So it's like never ending. But then you get so caught up in that goal and like, oh my God, I need to do the next thing. I need to do the next thing. Next thing you know, who even are you? Right? Where did you go? Because you're so focused on that end goal that you've lost yourself on that path. You've depended so much on outside validation, on external opinions, on what people think you should be doing, what people think you should be like, that now you don't even know what you're doing. I've been there. Have y'all been there? Thank you, Chi-Chi. Because I know I've been there. You get so caught up in the sauce, the next thing you know, you're like, wait, where am I? Kimberly, for sure. Yep. So, when you think about it, Kiara says, shit. Yup. Kimberly said, I just tapped back to reality. Same. I feel like the last few months, I've been tapping in for real, for real. Wake up calls left and right. Yup. Yup. So if you're open, I want you to share one word, just one word that feels most true to you right now. Not what you wish, but what you already are. So when you think about a word, I want you to think about a word that is most true to you. So for me, I'm going to say awakening. That's my word, awakening. I feel like right now is awakening. And if that resonates with you, feel free to use that word too. I like that, Chi-Chi. Hard work. Because she be putting in that work, okay? Yup. Anybody else has a word that they want to share? So Chi-Chi shared hard work. I feel like mine is awakening. I feel like I'm finally awakening to my calling. Let's see. Mama said accomplishment. Yes. I love that. Because I know it's hard for you, Mama, sometimes to tap yourself in the back and say, good job. You did that thing. So that's really cool. Thank you guys so much for the gifts. I really appreciate it. Kimberly said fulfillment. Ooh, can we just snap? Kimberly with the wiseness today. I love that. Fulfillment. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Hi, Shy. Thank you for coming. I know, right? Look at y'all. You came out amazing. Yes. So for this week, I want to challenge you to, let's see, Kimberly said, that's how I feel, LOL. Yup. So I want to give you a little mini challenge this week, like I always do. I want you to list 3 values that you feel most true to who you are right now. Not who you're trying to be, not who other people expect you to be, just you, honest and raw. And actually, let's bump that up to 5 because we've already said 3 during this live. So I want you to make a list of your top 5 values. And I want you to write them down, whether that's on your phone, whether that's on paper. Kim! Oh, thank you for coming. Oh, I miss you. We need to make plans. Like, it's getting ridiculous. Why has this long happened and I haven't seen you? We went to college together, y'all. Yeah, it's crazy. What is happening with us? Yeah, girl life. Yes. So basically, we've been talking about finding clarity through identity. And I'm talking about doing a little mini challenge this week. If you could write down your top 5 values that you feel are most true to who you are, not what other people expect you to be, not who other people think you should be, but you. What are your top values? Because I feel like sometimes we get so disconnected from ourselves because we're so worried about people's expectations, people's opinions, or what we think is the right thing, right? So I really want you to focus on what you want, because I feel like the more we get connected with ourselves, the more we get connected with our identity, the easier it is to make decisions, the easier it is for us to feel confident within ourselves, right? And trust ourselves. So again, please write down those 5 values, keep them on your phone, keep them on a journal, somewhere near to where you can be reminded anytime that you feel like you don't know what decision to make. Okay? So for example, I made this example earlier, but if you have to choose between, let's say your top value is one day having a family, right? You want to have kids one day. And you have to choose between a career that is going to have you in the office all day, all night, or a career that is going to be satisfying. It still has your passion. You still get to do something that you love, but it gives you more time and more freedom, right? So then if you're thinking about your core values, it's an easy option. I'm going to take the one where I have a more work-life balance, right? Where I'll have time for my passion and then I'll have time for my family as well, right? So you can use your values to make decisions. You can use your values to choose what path to take and what next steps you should take, right? So it's almost like a little reminder of like, oh, okay, well, if this is truly a core value of mine, of course I don't want to do that. Or if this is a core value of mine, maybe I should go this way, right? So does anyone have any questions so far? I just want to make sure I don't forget anything, or if I missed a comment or something. Good. Okay. Thank you guys so much again for the gifts and the likes. I really appreciate it. So next week, we're going to be talking about how to ease that overwhelm by grounding ourselves in self-trust, right? So sometimes we get so busy with like juggling so many things, so many responsibilities, almost like when you go on the computer and you have like 17 tabs open at once and you feel like you have to look at every single one of them. Like everything's urgent. Like I have 10 tabs open and every single one of those tabs, I need to see it, right? How many of y'all do that? I'm so bad at computer tabs. I always have at least like 15 open. Do I need all of them open at the same time? No. But do I feel like I do? Yes. Yes, I do. So, guilty? Yup. Yup. It's such a problem. Oh, Chi-Chi. Okay, I'm proud of you, Chi-Chi. She said, hell no, I'll have a panic attack. Okay, good job. I'm proud. Because I'm so bad. Let's see. Kimberly said, I had 70 at one point. Ah, come on now. You can't even see the tab. No, you didn't, Kimberly. Ay, Dios mío. But basically, that's like that overwhelming feeling, right? When we feel like we have so many things and everything's urgent, then you're like, well, I guess I can't do anything, right? There's no way. So sometimes we think that by having too much to do, it's like we're finally doing something right. If we're super busy, then we must be doing something right, right? But really, overwhelm comes from being disconnected with ourselves. So that's why I wanted to talk about that identity piece today. And then next week, I kind of want to dig more into that self-trust and how connecting more with ourselves and using that self-trust can help us overcome that overwhelming feeling and that like anxious feeling when we feel like we have too much to do, right? And I'm sure everyone can relate because everybody's busy nowadays. So I hope that today helped you connect a little bit more with yourself. I know it's not really possible to figure yourself out in 45 minutes. But the goal of these lives is to, if I can help you 5%, 10% of the way by having this type of conversation and this type of engagement, then that's a win for me, right? If I can help you at least start that, like those wires to start attaching and those thoughts to start running through your mind, then I've won. I feel like I've done what I needed to do. So I hope that you do that mini challenge. Thank you so much, Kimberly. I really appreciate you coming too. And then next week we'll talk about that self-trust and how to like overcome that overwhelming feeling that comes with all these decisions and all these responsibilities that we need to do. So again, actually next week, I'm thinking I'm going to start changing my lives to Sunday evenings because I think y'all said that you like that date more. Let me know right now if you prefer Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time or Sundays 7 p.m. Eastern time. Because I feel like I had more people that were available on Sundays evenings, not during the day, because I know everybody trying to go to church, be with Jesus, okay? I'm not going to get in the way of that. Karen said, this actually helps. You have me questioning myself and it helps me sort stuff out. Yes, I love that. Kimberly said, we can try it. I think Sunday it's easier. I enjoy Thursdays. Okay. I'll be here on whatever days you can. Okay. Maybe I'll do like flip-flops. Like 1 week Thursday, 1 week Sundays. Yeah. All right. But I'll think about it. I'll do a poll. I'm going to do a poll online and see what the majority votes. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you sharing your time with me. I know everybody's busy, so I really appreciate you guys. I hope y'all have a great night. Have a good weekend because tomorrow's Friday. Hallelujah. Yep. Y'all take care. Have a good night. I love y'all. Have a good night. Bye.